The following is the extract of a course linked in the description.
Hello guys, thank you for joining me in this new video. What we're gonna look at now is I'm gonna give you a quick and dirty way to actually master your tracks. I do use other plugins, but I'm gonna show you a way where you can actually learn a little bit more about actually mastering. So what we're gonna do is if we come up here, let me go over here. You're gonna see is collapse structure. I'm gonna just click on it and I'm gonna go to demo projects and I'm gonna go to demo songs over here. And what you have over here, this folder is basically a list of projects that other producers have made for FL Studio, and they have always included it. I believe since the first version. If I'm not wrong, I believe FL Studio was created around 1998, end of 1990s, and I started using it 2002, 2003, and there were already those projects included. It. The songs were different, I think they do update it with time, but it was always there, and that's actually how I really learned really back then because in back in 2002 2003 there wasn't any YouTube, right? So the only way to really learn a little bit more about FL Studio from what I remember was forums. There were the manual. There was a manual that was coming with FL Studio at the time, and as well just those songs. So I will open those. I will have my notebook, and basically I will go. Okay, so over here this guy put a reverb. This is the settings of the reverb, and just write down everything, and then I will go and try it. So this is really something that I will recommend for you. There are different genre over here. You have a little bit of hip hop. You have like orchestra stuff. You have electronic, drum and bass, that kind of thing, dubstep. But it's definitely great because you want to go and see what other genre are doing and kind of use whatever you think is good and bring it and make it your own style, right? So I wouldn't be limited to the only kind of music that you're doing. Go ahead and explore how all those different projects are and trying to see if you can pick up something from it. So what we're gonna do here is I have a couple projects that I have in mind, and we're not gonna go and explore what all the project is made of, but we're just gonna focus on the mastering part, right? So the first project that I have in mind is this one over here. Okay, so this is a product over here. I'm going to bring up the mixer, and over here I have the master over here, and this is what we have on the master track. So let me play it, and I'm gonna disable some of them, but what you're gonna notice is really so okay. So let me stop here first. The goal really of the mastering, it plays a little bit too raw from what I know, right? Because I'm not a mastering engineer. Like I say, it's a whole different kind of um, learning that you need to do, but just saying, in my education over time, reading some of the stuff, watching some videos here and there, interacting on forums, this is what I came to know. So with mastering, usually the mastering process is applied. So number one is to make the song a little bit louder than it is right now, right? So louder to a level that different platform would play it, right? So I'm talking about, we talk about Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Music. Those different platforms, they have a certain level of loudness that we need to meet. That's number one. Number two is when you have back in, I mean, when you go back to the times of having CDs, you will have different tracks that will be mixed a little bit differently. But the thing is, the goal of the mastering in that process is when a user is going from a listener, right, is going from one song to the next, we don't want the loudness to jump, right? We don't want like on this track over here, the loudness is at plus 10, it goes to the next song, it drops to plus 2, and then it goes to my. So basically, what we want to have is a, um, a normalized level from track to track to track to track, and usually that happens at the mastering process. Okay, but in what we're gonna do here, we just want to raise a little bit more the volume and maybe add some touch to the mixing and make it shine a little bit more. Usually for mastering over here, you're gonna see a set of plugins that are being added here, and it's just the same kind that we use. But usually you're gonna find some EQ. You're gonna also gonna find some compressor as well, another compressor that you're gonna find, and maybe some limiters as well. Rarely you're gonna see like reverbs and chorus here, but it could be depending on the kind of song that you're making. You could have it there, right? But the one that's gonna make a little bit more of an impact would be a little bit the compressor limiter that you're gonna see. So what you're gonna realize here is most people, or a lot of the projects here, uh, and the Maximus back in the days that wasn't there. That is a plugin that they updated. They brought back, they brought out a little bit later on. Back in the days, it was just a lot of limiter that people were using, and they were just raising the volume of the limiter. So the thing was, everything is done very good over here. We just want to raise the volume then, right? And you're gonna notice that. So I just wanted to stop here. I just wanted to stop a little bit and explain that. So when you're gonna listen here, right? And what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna try to mute those. And what you're gonna see, the biggest change is gonna come from the Maximus. So let's go. So this is what I wanted to show you, right? So the biggest change over here is going to the Maximus, and you can feel that the volume is really being really different here. So let me play that. And it just brings up everything, right? So really quickly, let's jump in here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring this up a little bit, and I'm gonna actually gonna use myself Maximus as well. I don't use Maximus. I mean, I don't actually. I'm not too comfortable the way that plugin is looking. I just feel there is too many buttons for me, so I really don't use it. But I know it's a powerful plugin, but all those buttons over here to just mess me up. So I don't really use it. But in another video, I'm gonna show you what I use. But in case you don't have those plugins, this is where you can go and really quickly get some quick results, right? So that's why I wanted to show you that. So over here, this is the so let me close really quickly this over here, so we have a little bit of real estate, and I'm gonna have this here. Yeah, just like that. So what you're gonna find is in this case over here, usually what they do, so you have, this is a little bit of a multi-band compressor being done over here, or multi-band limiter, if you want to call it. So we have the lows, we have the mid, we have the highs, and we also have the master. Usually what they do is they're gonna raise the pre-level that's gonna come in, and sometime as well, they're just gonna gauge, they're gonna see what's good. Do I need to raise a little bit more the pulse, or do I have to reduce it? So they do it for the low, the mid, and the high, and as well for the master. usually they're gonna play as well with this button over here. And if you look to the description over here, it's gonna say stereo separation, and that's a little bit more. It's I think it's just a fancy word to say stereo and mono, right? And usually for the low, they're gonna set it to mono, and for the high and mid, they're gonna have it a little bit more to um, make it a little bit more stereo, right? So just make it a little bit more wide. So usually if we come back here, what we're gonna find this guy. So this guy over here, it doesn't seem like he used anything, and usually this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna try to see what are some of the settings that he has been using and trying to redo whatever he used. So it seems like over here actually his compressor over here is actually off, right? We're gonna come up here, but you're gonna see over here for the low, he actually put the stereo separation is 100% merge. So we're just gonna turn it on over here like that, and we're gonna come up here as well. The mid seems like it is off, right? And this is a little bit. I'm sorry. This is at this level over here. We're gonna go to the highs as well. It seems like the high as well, it is turned off, right? And this one is a little bit more separated even more. And when we come to the master here, this is where so for this guy over here, the only thing that he did was to raise the level, the last level for the master. And you see now that he just raised it over here. He hasn't really touched anything else, and that's basically all he did. He just raised the level from here to there, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna mute this, right? And I'm gonna mute the one that I have as well, and I'm gonna turn it on, and we can compare a little bit the result that we had there. So that is without. All right. So you see, like it is fairly close. We might have to go and tweak a little bit more, but really quickly, we were able to bring out a little bit more the level there of the song, right? So let me go and try to look for another track, right? So that this is number one. Let me just look at my notes here. Sorry, I apologize. Talking a little bit for a long time, and I'm gonna say I don't want to save those changes. All right. So we're getting over here, and you're gonna see the only one that he has as well. Let me see. I have my throat. Let me pause it. I apologize. I had to go take some water, and it seems like it's still not too back to normal. But I think I'm good. So let's come back here, and you're gonna see that for this song over here, all we have is the Maximus. Okay, so I'm gonna click on the Maximus here, and first let's listen to the song with the Maximus and without the Maximus. All right. So basically, we're gonna redo the same thing as well that we just did there. Let me look for the Maximus over here. All right, and let's do a little bit of the same thing where I'm going to, what did I just do? I'm going to bring this on. I'm gonna bring this one there and bring this one over here, just like that. Okay. So this guy over here, what he did, instead of turning off the low over here, he has left them on. Seems like he has the low on, mid, high, everything is on. And over here, the master, it seems like he hasn't moved anything. So really quickly, we're gonna try to mimic what he just did. So to mimic what he just did here, so you have the pre and the post, so you have to look at it. But again, if you come up here to bands, you're gonna see this basically. It's it's using this one. Okay, so really quickly we can see it for the this is for the high, is at 3 something around there, 3.9. So we're just gonna go really quickly around here, right? Just a quick and dirty way. This one is around here, and this one is around 6 over here, right? So this is all he did, and I think he also used the separation really quickly. So I'm gonna try and mimic that just really quickly here for us to get some quick result. Just over here, just like that, and master everything is fine, right? So I'm just gonna uh, now I'm gonna have it play. This is the one I added, and I'm gonna turn it on. Right? So it's really subtle, but really quickly give us the result that we want. So you're gonna notice with those projects, I would say take the time to go and see what people have used on the mastering, and as well just look at some of those other tracks over here, how they use their the instruments over here, and as well on the playlist, that you're gonna learn a lot from it, a lot. I think every time that I go back and I try to look at it, I always learn something from it. But I just want to focus on the mastering. What you're gonna notice over here is people usually use it a couple ways. They're gonna raise a lot of times just the levels over here based on their hearings, how they hear it. Some of the people are gonna crank it up all the way up over here, but some people are gonna just see that the feeling the level that they're getting is the one that they want, right? And they're just gonna leave it there. So you can increase the pre level over here, or as well the post, right? Just depends on what you're looking for, or you can boost over here and cut a little bit over here. Really depends. So you can do that for the low, for the mid, for the high, and over here for the master as well. Just depend. Maybe this is coming too hot, you can reduce that, or you can increase. Really depends on you. Okay. One of the nice thing that is here is when you listen to the sound over here, you can also solo and hear what is coming out of each band. Let's try it. This is what we get. So right now we're just listening to whatever is coming from that band over here, and you can also increase the level of the band over here, right? So this one over here is gonna be like, but right now at this moment I'm not listening to anything there. So we can come, now we're listening to the band over here, and now we're listening to this band over here, right? So the Maximus is actually really powerful, but for me it's just way too many buttons. And I just like things that are a little bit more that are simpler. So this is one way you can get um, some quick mastering effects, or some quick mastering result with the Maximus. And over here as well, you can go ahead and play a little bit with, because over here this is compression over here, but I think most people just leave it the way it is, and just play with the level available here, right? So with that, there is another way where you can actually get some type of mastering result. Let's go and let's try. I think this is a project over here. I'm gonna say no. Okay. And so we over here, and what you're gonna see, what you're gonna notice, in this case over here, in this master, we don't have any Maximus, but we have a limiter, right? We have a parametric, we have a limiter, and we have wave candy, and this is just, it's just candy. It's just supposed to be some type of um, let me see, is it showing somewhere? For some reason it's not showing. I don't know where it is visible. Okay, so this is what it's supposed to show there, right? So I'm just gonna, so what I'm gonna do, let's disable the parametric. So it seems like over here it has increased a little bit the sound over here. We can feel it, right? But let's disable now the limiter. Okay, so let's look at what it did there for the limiter. So with the limiter over here, the only thing that it did was, and I can't bring one. Let me put that up. Let me look for free limiter. This is the one that you have there. So all those plugins, the limiter, the Maximus, those ones already come with FL Studio. So you don't need to buy anything extra. If you just want to use it, that's fine. But you're gonna find over here what he did was just to raise a little bit the gain over here. You just raise the gain, so raise a little bit the volume there, final volume. Like I say, a lot of people, if over here the sound, and that's why as well on my thing, you really want to master. By the time that I get here, I usually don't use EQ equalizer anymore because I'm like, you know what, I'm definitely fine with the equalizer, the result that is coming out of the mixer track. I don't want to add up to it. If I do, it needs to be really like a quick touch, and I really need to know, it really needs to be for a specific purpose, right? But usually, I don't mess around with the equalizer anymore at that point. So that's what he really did. He just really raised the gain over here, where it's just raised the gain, and everything else is basically the same. The saturation is uh, at this level, the ceiling he hasn't touched, limiter, everything else is pretty much about the same. So I'm just gonna play it. That is with mine, it's already on, and I'm gonna turn it on. Alright, so really quickly, that's what it is. Let me just see over here my notes. There is one more project that I want to show you, and I believe it was this one over here. Say no. Just look a little bit more. I think that one as well should be a limiter that he used. And this guy over here actually used two limiters now that I'm thinking about it. So this is a song. Why won't I release me? Let me turn it off. So this one actually makes it louder. I don't know, for some reason he added, it kind of does the same thing, but it seems like this one he reduced the volume, maybe because it was coming way too hot, right? That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Or for some reason it was coming a little bit more than he wanted to. He reduced the gain over here, and over here he just boosted it up, right? He hasn't changed anything. I think over here the envelope, he put everything down. He did change it a little bit, but you know, the main thing that he did over here was the gain. All right. So again, that's how you can really get some quick result really quickly. For mastering, it's really about raising the volume. I'm going to show you there is some external. So this one is just using the FX, the plugins of FL Studio. There are a few plugins that I'm going to show you on the in the next video. There are plugins that um, they all do cost money. Some of them would be a little bit less costly, right? And there is another one that I usually use to track at what level I'm bringing the overall project, right? Because you don't just want to raise this all the way up, and you don't know at which point it is anymore. So FL Studio doesn't have a plugin like that allows me to see it. At least I looked, but I'm not aware of it. So, but the one to see the level is actually free, so that's a good thing. So yeah, so this is what I wanted to show you. Basically, to resume, to really get a quick result for mastering, you could use Maximus, you could use the limiter, and most of what people do is just raise the volume on the final project. The limiter, the Maximus gives you um, a little bit more option compared to the limiter, right? So you can decide to raise for the different bands and go a little bit more granular, right? And as well over here, you have different options for pre and post. The limiter is just really uh, just even more quick. You just raise the volume and you're done. And a lot of times in some of the older projects, because the Maximus, like I say, was used later on, the older projects, it was mostly the limiter that people were using, and as well people were using, and as well the soft clipper. But right now it seems like Maximus is used quite a bit, just because I say it offers a little bit more options. But as well, if you want to go a little bit more quickly, limiter is going to do that for you. So let's meet in the other video where I'm going to show you what I'm using.